Good morning, chief guest and parents. We, the year 5 and year 6, are going to be performing a skit about single-use plastic. The story of plastic. You have probably heard about a giant trash island in the ocean, or that poor sea turtle and the straw. Maybe you have even heard how plastic is being found inside the fish we eat.
The plastic crisis gets a lot of attention, but the headlines usually focus on the plastics that end up in the environment. That is just a part of the story.
The truth is, plastic has a whole life cycle, one that harms people and the planet from start to finish. Let's start at the beginning. Plastic is made out of fossil fuel like oil or fracked natural gas. It goes through so many steps: extraction, transport, refining, production, distribution, consumption, and disposal. Extracting the fossil fuel creates a lot of pollution that usually affects the communities nearby. Just when we are getting better with using less oil and gas to power our lives, as we are more aware of saving on energy, oil, electricity, and water, and everyone talking about sustainability, guess what? The fossil fuel industry found a lifeline in plastic. The oil and gas companies are doubling down on plastic production, hoping to achieve their goals between now and 2025.
But these companies have already produced enough and more plastics which are in use. So where is all this new plastic going? A lot of it is flowing into new markets in places like Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Plastic is not driven by the demand for it, but by its supply. Some very big and popular corporations are aggressively marketing their single-use plastic products around the world. These huge companies go to some countries and push their products to the local communities that just are not prepared to deal with all that plastic. Some Asian countries are not ready for plastics. They do not know what to do with them, and moreover, they are not equipped to handle the plastic waste. On top of that, countries from the global north are shipping their plastic waste into these countries. When you add all that up, no wonder there's so much of this plastic ends up in the environment. 32% of plastic waste ends up in the environment. 40% goes to the landfills, where plastic just piles up for our future generations to deal with. 14% is incinerated. Incineration is a nasty business because it produces toxic smoke and fly ash which is all really unhealthy for us. Some super expensive facilities depend on plastics to burn everything else. It is oil and gas after all, so they want to see more plastic, not less. Then there is recycling. Unfortunately, it is not the solution that many people think it is. Just 14% of the plastic packaging gets recycled, and only 2% gets effectively recycled, meaning it becomes something as useful as before. The rest is downcycled into something worse. Most recycled plastic is only recycled once, after which they end up in landfills, incinerators, and the environment anyways. So, it turns out that we can't burn, bury, or recycle our way through this problem. And we can't just scoop all that plastic out of our environment either. That is like trying to scoop the water out of a bathtub with a teaspoon while the tap is in full blast. Impossible, right? So the only way is to turn off the tap, stop the use of single-use plastics,